loans from financial institutions without securing a certificate of proof of compliance from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission (FRC), saying such borrowing is unlawful and carries serious legal consequences. The warning was issued during a financial management workshop attended by 23 local government chairmen in Kaduna. Speaking at the event, the FRC's Director of Legal Services, Investigation and Enforcement, Charles Abana, who represented the Executive Chairman, Victor Murako, said the Fiscal Responsibility Act of 2007 does not permit states and local governments to borrow funds for recurrent or day-to-day expenses. He explained that any borrowing must be tied to projects with long-term value, such as infrastructure and human development, rather than routine government spending. In a statement by Strategic Communication Officer Bid Anyanwu, the Commission decried the practice of spending public funds without approval, warning that it undermines public trust and slows national development. The FRC also cautioned local government leaders against diverting public funds to associates, political supporters, or unverified workers on government payroll, stressing that all expenditure must align with approved budgets and deliver measurable public benefits.
President Bola Tinubu says his administration would not reverse 8 economic reforms. President Tinubu stated this while receiving a World Bank delegation led by Managing Director of Operations Anna Bergerd at the State House, Abuja. The president said the reforms, though painful at the beginning, but were necessary to strengthen Nigeria's economy and create opportunities for its young population. He emphasized that Nigeria has the heart of the African continent as the heart. He emphasized that Nigeria, as the heart of the African continent, must take necessary steps to transform its economy, particularly through agricultural mechanization and support for farmers. The president called on the World Bank to assist in establishing mechanization centers to help farmers enhance seedling programs and facilitate access to locally produced fertilizers. In her response, the managing director of operations at the World Bank, Anna, commended President Tinubu's steadfast implementation of reforms over the past 2 years, noting that it has delivered good results. She disclosed that Nigeria has become a frequent example in her discussions with President, policymakers and investors worldwide due to the achievement it recorded in the 2-year period.
The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), Brigadier General Olakunle Nofio, has warned both intending and serving corps members against night travel and other risky engagements during their service year. In a statement shared on the official X handle of the scheme, Brigadier General Nofio gave the advice while addressing the 2026 Batch A Stream 1 corps members at the NYSC Kogi State Orientation Camp. Brigadier General Nofio urged corps members to be security conscious and stay away from acts capable of putting them in harm's way. He urged them to avoid night journeys and other risky engagements.
Governor Seyi Makinde has described Oyo State's progress as a testament to sacrifices, dedication, and collective effort of its people, many teams and generations who worked towards building a better Oyo State. Governor Makinde said this during the grand finale of Oyo at 50 celebration held at the banquet hall, Government House, Agodi, Ibadan. He highlighted some of the key milestones from foundation years of establishing governance structures to the current focus on infrastructure development, security reforms, and economic growth. Governor Makinde, while thanking past leaders, current administrators, and the people of Oyo State for their contributions and support, prayed that the state's unity would remain its strength as it looks forward to a brighter future. In a remark, Chairman, Nigerian Governors Forum and Governor of Kwara State, Abdurrahman Abdulrazak, who commended Governor Makinde for restoring past glory of Oyo State through numerous infrastructural development, urged youth to emulate leaders with genuine plans for sustainable development. Earlier, In his goodwill message, former military governor of Oyo State, Major General David Jembenwo, retired, described Oyo State as a pacesetter that has consistently remained at the forefront, stressing the need to sustain this position to achieve even greater progress. Awards of excellence were presented to former governors and administrators and distinguished personalities, while General Jembenwo, retired on behalf of other past governors, presented to Governor Makinde the Golden Governors Award in recognition of their immense contributions to Oyo State development. Other highlights of the event included a historical retrospect exhibition, an airport air show, cutting of anniversary cake, and a captivating musical performance by Juju legend Chief Ebenezer Obey, who thrilled guests with his sonorous tunes.
Ogun State Governor Prince Dakpo Abiodun has expressed gratitude to the people of the state and the federal government for their support as Ogun marked the 50th anniversary of its creation. He made the remark at the state banquet held at Okemoso Abeokuta as part of activities marking the Golden Jubilee celebration. Governor Abiodun, who appreciated God for giving him the opportunity to serve the state, noted that the achievements recorded so far were the result of collective effort and shared sacrifice. The governor thanked residents of the state, past leaders, stakeholders and partners for their contributions to the growth and development of Ogun State, stressing that progress would not have been possible without their support. He also expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu for his confidence, trust, and continued support, describing the president as a dependable ally whose faith in the state has strengthened its development drive. Reflecting on the celebration, former Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo attributed the success recorded by the state to the commitment and dedication of both the past and present leaders. The banquet was attended by dignitaries from across the country, including government officials, traditional rulers, captains of industry, and other stakeholders.
The Civil Society Network on Peace and Restorative Justice Civil Space has sought the collaboration of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria from Ibadan Zonal Station to advance its mandate of addressing the rising number of out-of-school children in the country. The Executive Director of Civil Space, Professor George Adigbolagun, made the call when he led members of the organization on a courtesy visit to the management of the station. Professor Adigbolagun lamented that the rate of out-of-school children in Nigeria, particularly in Oyo State, has become alarming, attributing the situation to prevailing security and economic challenges. According to Professor Adigbolagun, the support of FRCN is imperative as it would assist the organization in sensitizing the public on the benefits of formal education. In his remarks, the Zonal Director, FRCN Zonal Station, Mr. Olufemi Fulani, expressed optimism about the efforts of government at combating insecurity.
Meanwhile, Zonal Director, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, Ibadan Zonal Station, Mr. Olufemi Fulani, has appealed to past and present employees of the station to support efforts aimed at repositioning it. Mr. Fulani made the appeal while hosting some retirees of the station and members of the Muslim Media Practitioners of Nigeria, MMPN, FRCN Ibadan chapter in his office at Broadcasting House, Dugbe, Ibadan. The zonal director, who lauded the contributions of the MMPN, described the group as dutiful and dedicated, urging them not to relent in their commitment to the progress of the station. He also appealed to FRCN retirees to continue to offer their support towards further repositioning the corporation. In their remarks, a retired Deputy Director, News and Current Affairs, Mr. Tunde Abiodun, and two other retirees, Messrs. Bayo Kumuyi and Bayo Olaoshun, assured the Zonal Director of their readiness to provide the necessary support for the development of the station. In a similar remark, the Muslim Media Practitioners of Nigeria, FRC Ibadan, led by an Assistant Director, News and Current Affairs Department, Mr. Babatunde Salaudeen, pledged the group's support towards ensuring the success of the tenure of the newly appointed Zonal Director and the overall progress of the station.
The Nigerian Police Force Oyo Command has recorded multiple breakthroughs in its sustained fight against crime across the state. A statement signed by the Commanding Public Relations Officer DSP Olayinka Anyolade indicates that the police has arrested a murder suspect, Yaru Saka, in Tede Asibo local government area in connection with the killing of one Amodu Saliu. The statement indicates that a locally made gun was recovered and the suspect has confessed to the crime. Also in Jubilee, a Fijio local government area, the commander has quelled a court-related clash, rescuing a 35-year-old man with stab injuries. The PPRO said two suspects has been arrested while a blood-stained knife was recovered. The suspects are assisting investigations to arrest other fleeing cult members.
The Nigerian Army has unveiled an intelligence-driven and technology-enabled strategy aimed at addressing evolving security challenges across the country. The Chief of Army Staff, COAS, Lieutenant General Waidi Shaibu, disclosed this while delivering a strategic lecture to participants of Course 34 at the National Defense College NDC, titled Combating Asymmetric Threats to National Security in Nigeria, the Nigerian Army in Perspective. He noted a shift from traditional state-centered conflicts to complex intrastate threats posed by terrorists, insurgents, bandits, cyber criminals, and transnational crime networks, explaining that such groups exploit governance gaps, societal vulnerabilities, and emerging technologies to weaken public confidence in state authority. According to the COAS, the Army's response must be proactive, adaptive, and intelligence-led, adding that the service has recalibrated its operational doctrine and force posture through a multi-domain approach that combines decisive military action with intelligence fusion, interagency cooperation, joint operations with sister services, and strengthened international partnerships.
An Akure-based medical expert, Dr. Ndidi Okunuga, has urged the federal government to include all stages of treatment of cancer in the National Health Insurance Authority (NHIA) to ease the burden of treatment on patients. Dr. Okunuga, a consultant radiation clinical oncologist at the Futu Teaching Hospital, Akure, made the plea while speaking on the occasion of this year's World Cancer Day with the theme United by Unique. Correspondent Bukola Badi brings details.
Is a non-communicable disease which causes body cells to divide in an abnormal fashion, affecting the cells, the tissue, organs, and the overall body system. In Nigeria, cancer has remained a major public health challenge, with roughly 128,000 new cases and over 79 deaths reported annually, as stated in the Global Cancer Observatory Report of 2025. Breast, prostate, and cervical cancers are the most common types, which have also been designated as the leading causes of cancer-related death in developing countries such as Nigeria. Most often, patients are confronted and overwhelmed by the cost of treatment, leading to difficulty in effective management of the disease and eventually resulting in deaths. It is in view of this that Dr. Ndidi Okunuga, a consultant radiation and clinical oncologist at the Futa Teaching Hospital, Akure, made case for the inclusion of full cancer treatments in the National Health Insurance Authority.
The insurance can cover surgery, but the other ones like the chemotherapy, the radiotherapy, the hormonal therapy, and so on is yet to be covered. Government can help in this regard to ensure that cancer treatment is instituted in the insurance scheme.
Dr. Okunuga listed cancer risk factors to include genetic, old age, excessive tobacco and alcohol consumption, exposure to radiation, high fatty diet, and enjoying people to embrace healthy lifestyle, especially regular exercise and medical checkup, noting that early detection of cancer helps in taming the disease.
Take a balanced diet, take a lot of vegetables, take a lot of fruits, water, reduce your fatty diet, reduce all this excessive fast food because they may predispose, to cancer.
A cancer survivor and Akure-based nurse, Mrs. Sandra Akaba, while sharing her experience with Radio Nigeria, said it cost her fortune to treat the ailment as it involved many expensive stages of medical interventions.
After the chemotherapy, I was sent to Lagos to carry out radiotherapy. Afterwards, I was sent back to Akure to meet my oncologist. Then she placed me on a follow-up therapy. Survivorship has not really been easy because it's something you do on a routine basis. Actually looking for money for a bone scan instead of a PET scan because PET scan is way too high. So I had to go for the one that is a bit cheaper, which is the bone scan. Running hundreds of thousands. So subsequently, you need to follow up.
Mr. Akaba, however, pointed out that cancer was not a death sentence, provided the condition was diagnosed early, urging people to embrace regular checkup, especially screening for cancer. World Cancer Day is commemorated annually to raise awareness about cancer and to encourage its prevention, detection, and treatment. In Akure, Bukola Badi, Radio Nigeria.
This is the world today. The stories that made the headlines. FG has warned states, local governments against borrowing without FRC certificate. NYSC boss has cautioned core members to avoid night trips. Still to come, Russia-Ukraine begins second round of peace talks in Abu Dhabi over war. India's civil aviation regulator launches investigation into 2 passenger aircraft contact at Mumbai airport. Stay tuned.
Glad to know you're still there, still listening to World News on the Southwest Network of Radio Nigeria. Continuing with the foreign scene now. Ukrainian and Russian negotiators have begun the second round of United States brokered talks in the United Arab Emirates UAE as they seek advance and fraught negotiations on how to end Russia's nearly 4-year war on Ukraine. And according to Russian state media and a spokesperson for the Ukrainian chief negotiator, the Russian and Ukrainian delegations arrived in Abu Dhabi today. It remained unclear when the U.S. delegation would arrive to the 2-day trilateral talks in Abu Dhabi come as Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky accused Russia of violating an agreement brokered by U.S. President Donald Trump that called for ceasing attacks on energy facilities.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has described Russia's attacks on Ukraine's energy sector on Monday night as barbaric. He made the comments after speaking to U.S. President Donald Trump hours after Russia hit power plants and critical infrastructure in the capital, Kyiv, and elsewhere. The attacks came at the end of a week-long pause that Trump had asked Russia's President Vladimir Putin to observe as a fierce cold swept Ukraine. The damage from the strikes was extensive, with more than 1,000 tower blocks in Kyiv without heating and a power plant in the eastern city of Kharkiv beyond repair. Residents were forced to spend the night sheltering in metro stations, with some pitching tents on the platforms to protect them from the freezing cold.
India's civil aviation regulator has launched an investigation after the wingtips of 2 passenger aircraft briefly came into contact on the runway at Mumbai airport, prompting an evacuation of passengers. The Director General of Civil Aviation said an Air India aircraft was awaiting departure when an Indigo plane taxiing on a parallel route after landing scraped the tip of its wings. Both airlines confirmed that all passengers and crew members were safe, while 2 Airbus A320 aircraft involved have been grounded for inspection.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer is set to face more questions over his decision to appoint Peter Mandelson as U.S. ambassador in 2024. Police have launched a criminal investigation into Mandelson, who's accused of passing market-sensitive government information to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein when he was business secretary in 2009. Mandelson has not responded to requests for comment, but it is understood that his position is that he has not acted in any way criminally and that he was not motivated by financial gain. Mandelson has, however, confirmed his intention to resign from the House of Lords after quitting Labour on Sunday.
To end the news and the world today from the stable of Radio Nigeria, the top stories again. The federal government has warned state and local government against obtaining loans from financial institutions without securing a certificate of proof of compliance from the Fiscal Responsibility Commission (FRC), saying such borrowing is unlawful and carries serious legal consequences. The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), Brigadier General Olakunle Nafiu, has warned both intended and serving corps members against night travel and other risky engagements during their service year. Ukrainian and Russian negotiators have begun a second round of United States brokered talks in the United Arab Emirates (UAE) as they seek to advance the fraught negotiations on how to end Russia's nearly 4-year war on Ukraine. And lastly, we brought you the report that says India's Civil Aviation Regulator has launched an investigation after the wingtips of 2 passenger aircraft briefly came into contact on the runway at Mumbai Airport, prompting an evacuation of passengers.
That's it on The World Today. Rashida Makinde edited. Okay, Modupe Toba edited.
Okay. Right.
I am Chinelu Obidike. Thank you so much for listening. From my colleague
Dayo Adenuga, thank you for listening. Join us again tomorrow.